This is a Life League production. Oh, Life League gonna be at the game? I gotta turn up.
Hey, what's going on, YouTube? I know you guys missed this, but we are back. Life League TV is back. I am your gracious host, Jeff Tarver, and it's a blessing to be back. We've been gone for a minute due to COVID-19. I know that you guys missed us, but we are back to start providing some content to you guys. For those of you who don't know, Life League is a platform where we provide quality education, uplift, and also exposure to student athletes. So, like I said, we're excited to be back in the midst of a pandemic, and we're going to be providing you guys some great content moving forward. Once it's safe to return, that's something we'll talk about tonight as it relates to COVID. Once it's safe, we'll start back up with the highlights. We are here in Georgia, and we do travel to other places as well to provide exposure and highlight reels to athletes. Once it's safe, we will start that again. We will be doing some highlight reels again. We will be doing some other educational content so that you guys are best informed on how to navigate yourself in this crazy world that we live in. Tonight, we're going to be discussing the 5 reasons why sports should be postponed due to COVID-19. All right, the 5 reasons that sports should be postponed due to COVID-19. And before we get started, when you come into the room, make sure that you go ahead and like, share, post any comments or any questions or things that you want to discuss in the chat room. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at The Life League. All right. When you come in, also make sure that if you disagree with something that I'm saying, put it in the chat. I'll pull it up and we can discuss it live right here on the broadcast. All right. We haven't gone live. This is our first time going live on YouTube. So we want the channel to continue to grow as we provide quality content for those who need it. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the discussion. Again, we're talking about the 5 reasons that sports should be postponed due to COVID-19. All right. Like I said, when you come in, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. All right. Number 1, student athletes will not report symptoms of COVID-19. Let's be honest, all of my athletes and former athletes, it's a big game coming that week or that day, and you're not feeling well. Most of my athletes know that these student athletes will not report symptoms. If you're not feeling well and it's a big game, you are expected to play. And if you do not play, of course, the culture is, you're backing out, you're scared, things of that nature. So I know I played in plenty of games that I probably should not have played in just due to the fact that I was injured. But I knew that the team needed me, my coaches needed me, the fans needed me to perform. So I went out there anyway, knowing that I probably should not have been out there. And that's the same thing that's going to happen with athletes in this current pandemic dealing with COVID. And it goes all the way down to, recreation sports. Of course, middle school, high school, the higher up you go, the more implications it has. We know high school is big here in the South. No student athlete is not going to play if they have the opportunity to play, knowing that they're not feeling well. So let's be honest about that. Not just athletes. Guess what? The coaches and fans are not necessarily going to back out either or say that they've been in contact with somebody who's had COVID, if it's not already put out in the media. So if no one else knows about it, then they're going to show up and they're going to coach and they're going to play and they're going to cheer, unfortunately putting other people at risk for contracting the virus. So let's be honest, we cannot, play dumb and act like people will be honest and forthcoming as it relates to how they're feeling, who they've been in contact with. Now, this also, causes a situation where people will start sweeping positive test results up under the rug, putting more people in jeopardy of, being exposed to and infected with this virus. Let's be clear. There will be, it probably has already started happening, situations where health officials, administrators, whoever the case may be, they will not put it out there that certain people have been exposed to this virus. All right. So let's not be naive to the fact that there is going to be a situation where people are being exposed and they will try to sweep it up under the rug. All right. Now, once you start getting into the high school, professional, and college level, people's jobs are on the line. All right. If I don't have a winning season, I could potentially lose my job. So due to the fact that I'm opening up the floodgates, okay, if we say we're going to play ball, we're going to play ball. And if I don't have a winning season, just due to the fact that I was missing players, and we'll talk about that in my next point, I could potentially lose my job because I didn't perform up to my standards, and people end up getting sick. We lost a couple of our best players, and now we had a losing season. Now I could potentially lose my job. So there's so many different dominoes that could fall by just opening up the floodgates and playing ball. All right. So number one, student athletes will not report symptoms. That goes for coaches. That goes for fans. That goes for people at the ticket gate. That goes for the people selling concessions. These people are not going to not show up just because they have symptoms or have been exposed. They will show up anyway. Let's just be honest. All right. That leads us to number two. Teams affected by the virus will be disadvantaged. All right. So if it comes out that, certain players, coaches, whatever the case may be, were exposed to the virus, guess what? Now, pretty much the whole team has to quarantine for 2 weeks. You smack dab in the middle of the season, and it comes out that, students at school were exposed to the virus and the players were at school and they came in contact with someone who tested positive for COVID. Anybody who has come in contact with that person, according to protocol, right, they're supposed to quarantine for 2 weeks. So they shouldn't be on the field. They shouldn't be in the classroom, whatever the case may be. So can you imagine having, a rival game on a Friday night here in Georgia or wherever, and you missing, let's just say everybody on the team didn't come in contact, but you're missing your quarterback, your running back, your wide receiver, your best linebacker, whatever the case may be. And you going up against your rival and you get beat by 50 points. How is that going to look? Right? Can you even count that as a legit win? Of course, the team that won doesn't care. All right, that's a plus for them because they beat their rival. But the team that actually was missing players, they're disadvantaged because they didn't have their best players due to COVID. And let's just be honest, 9 times out of 10, the whole team is going to have to quarantine. So when do you make up those games? Do you make them up, at the end, on the back end of the season? Do you make it up during the week? Can you play 2 high school games in a week? So I don't think that people have actually even thought about how that will actually play out if someone on the team did test positive for COVID at the beginning of the season, end of the season, whatever the case may be. Let's just say the team gets a positive test during the playoffs. Are they automatically disqualified? How does that work? So there's so many different things that could go wrong. This is my personal opinion. They need to go ahead. When I say postpone, I'm not saying cancel. I know people get upset when you say you need to cancel. No, we need to postpone this entire sport. The whole fall sports season needs to be postponed until we can get a handle on this virus. I know this may be the new normal, but I don't even think that our hospital staff, our healthcare professionals know how to contain this virus right now. So it's a novel virus. It's not like the flu. So we're not dealing with something that we actually have a handle on right now, and to subject people to something that could potentially kill them, I think that is irresponsible right now. So teams will be affected by this virus. Coaches will be affected. The community in itself will be affected by the virus. Teams will lose. That probably should not lose. Teams will win that probably should not win. But it's just due to the fact that they have been in contact with someone who has tested positive. All right. So that moves us to number 3 on our list of the 5 reasons that sports should be postponed due to COVID-19. All right. When you come on in the room or when you see the video, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, share all of that good stuff. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at The Life League. All right. Now, number 3, the longer that we wait to shut down, the longer it will take to get back to some sense of normalcy. Let's be clear. We don't know what it takes in order to get a hold of this virus, and we've rushed back out in order to get that sense of normalcy, right? We felt like, okay, we just got tired of the virus and said, I'll just go ahead and roll the dice. If I get it, if I get it. If I don't, I don't. All right. But the longer it takes us to shut this thing down, the longer it's going to take for us to get back to that sense of normalcy. This might be the new normal. We don't know. And just due to the fact that we don't know, that, is further proof that we do not need to be playing right now because we do not have a hold on this thing. We're in a situation where we know people want to have that sense of normalcy, but we're thinking short term and not long term, you guys. And unfortunately, we're in a situation where we don't understand delayed gratification. Let's go ahead and play the long game instead of playing the short game, because the short game is going to have all of us in a situation to where we're not going to have fall sports or winter sports because we haven't gotten a hold of it in the fall. So if we try to run this thing through, and guess what? The numbers are going to continue to rise. More people are going to continue to get sick. More people are going to continue to die. That's going to spill over into fall sports. So you're going to see basketball being canceled as well. I know sports are precious to us. It's something that we love. We hold dear to us. We love to see our kids go out there on the field and on the basketball court, the track, the baseball diamond, whatever the case may be. We like to see our kids to perform. We want to be proud of and the things that they do on the court and on the field and everywhere else. But right now, the smart decision would be to sit down for a second and let's really try to get this thing under control before we put our children and our entire community at risk. All right. So the longer we wait to shut it down, the longer it will take to get back to some sense of normalcy. We have to flatten the curve first before we can move forward. And what you're seeing now is you're seeing these administrators waiting to the last minute before they pull the plug on these different sports. And, I think they're hoping and they're praying, there's something, there's some light at the end of the tunnel to where we can't play, but that's just not the case right now. So they know at the end of the day, there's going to be some consequences for their negligence. So they're trying to wait until the last minute in order to pull the plug because there's a lot of people that want to move forward. And if you do want to move forward, that's your opinion. I respect it. But my opinion is we need to go ahead and shut these things down for a second. All right. That's number 3. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at The Life League. All right. Number 4, this is pretty much self-explanatory. As adults, we must be responsible for our children. Parents know, I'm a parent, and I know that my child or children will not do what's right at the end of the day as it relates to their health. If they could stay up all night and watch TV all night to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, knowing they got to get up and get on the computer for school or go to school, they would, right? If we allowed them to do it, they would, because they're not responsible yet. If they wanted to eat candy and ice cream all day, every day, because that's what they had the taste for, if we allowed them to do it, they would. So what makes you think that they won't want to play football or basketball or baseball or whatever the case may be? They want to do it because they're not mature enough in order to make responsible decisions. So guess who has to make those decisions for them? We do, as logical adults or as adults. Our elderly, they're getting older. They don't necessarily have, the influence right now of everyone else up under them a lot of times. So they're dependent on us as well to make the right decisions as it relates to their health. So we have to make those tough decisions. Yes, they're going to be mad. They're going to be upset for a little while. But once they get older, hopefully, right, they can rationalize the decisions that we have to make today. So as adults, we must make these tough decisions for our children. And at the end of the day, it is for their well-being. It is for these young athletes and these adult athletes. It's for their well-being. So we have to be the ones who do it, even if the decision is, an unpopular decision. All right. Will it be boring? Yes. Will they miss their friends? Yes. Will they miss the camaraderie? Yes. Are there kids that are depressed right now? Yes. This is something that we've never seen before in this lifetime. So we're still trying to figure it out. And we cannot put our children out there as guinea pigs, right? Or our college athletes, our pro athletes, whoever out there as guinea pigs and say, let's just hope things go the way that they're supposed to go. We know people are dying. I know people are saying that, the death rate is so low and things of that nature, but people are dying because of this virus. So are you willing to risk your child in order to watch some football or some basketball or whatever the case may be? If you are, that's your prerogative, but me personally, I think we should have some dialogue back and forth. And, at the end of the day, you make the best decision for you and your family. If you feel as if you want to risk it, that's on you. All right. But my number 4 is, as adults, we must be responsible. Us as adults must be responsible for our children. And we cannot put them in harm's way. When we brought them into this world, we were supposed to protect them. So we cannot allow a virus that can be avoided to take them from this earth, them or us, right? Because we don't know how our bodies will respond to the virus as well. So we cannot allow anyone in our community that, could be subject to, or their immune system is not, equipped enough. We don't know whose immune system is equipped enough in order to deal with this virus. You just don't know. There have been babies, there have been preteens, adults, and elderly that have all died. So are you willing to risk, your life, your child's life, or your family's life, or anyone in your community's life in order to watch a game? That's a question that you have to ask for yourself. But that leads us to number 5. People will die. People will be exposed to this virus unnecessarily that do not necessarily have to be exposed to this virus. And people will die because of that. There will be large groups of people that will come in contact with this virus, like we said before in the other bullet points. People are going to be exposed to this, and people are going to die if we open up the floodgates. If you think about, and I know they said if they do open up, there's going to be limited seating in the stands, but let's be realistic. Do we really think that people are going to stay 6 feet apart in a football stadium? Think about Sanford Stadium at UGA or any other college in the nation on a Saturday afternoon. Do you really think these people are going to stay spread out? And you're talking about thousands of people that are going to be in one place to watch a football game. Football players sweat, they spit, they bleed, they do everything on a football field. Basketball players, the same thing. You can control it a little bit better in a basketball setting, but on the court, you can't stay 6 feet apart and play basketball. So again, the risks are too high right now. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not someone that's saying that the media is controlling. I know that there's people who has died from this virus. And I don't think it's smart in order to put people in jeopardy at this moment. Administrators, the people who are calling the shots, superintendents, commissioners, whoever you are you prepared to have death on your hands due to your negligence? People are going to die just due to your lack of leadership. Are you able to live with someone losing their life because you decided not to pull the plug or postpone the season until it's safe to play? Some people are okay with that. Some people are not. But you have a lot of people's care under your purview. So you can't, be irresponsible and reckless like that to where you put people's lives in danger and risk them getting sick. All right. So I'll go ahead and wrap everything up. Like I said, this is our first episode back in a while. We will be bringing you weekly broadcasts or weekly shows on different topics. This is the first one. Of course, it's something that's a hot topic right now as it relates to the coronavirus. So we're going to start off with this one. But I'll go ahead and wrap everything up. In the United States, we do have freedoms. We have rights. We have liberties that we do not want to be infringed, right? We want to be able to choose to die if we want to, and that's fine, you can. But unfortunately, as it relates to a virus, it's not just about you. You come into contact with other people, you're putting other people's lives in danger. I'm not saying that anyone should be shacked up in the house all day, every day. You can't go out for anything, but the risks should be calculated, right? If you have to go get something to eat, you have to go get something from the store, that's understandable. But football and basketball right now is not a calculated risk. I know a lot of people say or are saying that, this is the only opportunity that, my child might be able to get a scholarship, or, this is their only way out. And I will say this, if this is the only way that your child or the child up under your care or on your team, this is the only way that they're able to make it out, someone dropped the ball and you failed that child. All right. If sports is their only way, someone dropped the ball and failed that child. We often tell our kids, what's your backup plan? If you get hurt and you can't play anymore, then what are you going to do? They have to come up with one, because you never know what might happen. You never know when you might blow out your knee. You never know what might happen. So if you dropped the ball, so you didn't prepare that child for life after sports. And now might be the time where you might need to put that backup plan in place. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. And this might be a situation where those kids might have to pull out that other egg. That's life. Things happen. We have to kind of move and shake. Another thing that I've seen a lot of people say is, we have faith that God will protect us over this virus. And, I believe that is true as well. But I also believe God gave us a sense of discernment. He gave us common sense as well in order to make sound decisions. And I don't think that makes up for people being reckless and being negligent. So yes, God will protect you if that's in his will. That's just my personal opinion. But I think as adults, we have to make smart decisions at the same time. All right. Let's go ahead and recap everything. We'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. Like I said before, make sure that you comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, all of those good things. We're talking about the 5 different reasons why sports should be postponed due to COVID-19. We said number 1 was student athletes will not report symptoms. We know that it's a big game. They're going to show up. Coaches are going to show up sick or not. Fans are going to show up sick or not. There will be people who have tested positive for COVID-19 that will still show up to a game knowing that they have tested positive. I know it sounds crazy, but it exactly will happen. Trust me, it will happen. People will show up just because they want to be a part of what's going on. Number 2, teams will be affected or disadvantaged once they come in contact with the virus. You might lose your whole team. You might lose a few of your star players just due to the fact that they have been in contact with someone or has tested positive, and we don't necessarily know how we're going to make these games up. If it happens at the championship game, at the beginning of the season, or during the playoffs, when are you going to make those games up? So yes, teams affected by the virus will be disadvantaged. You're going to have bye weeks, out of the blue just because something happened during the week. So it's just going to be a mess. So number 3, the longer we wait to shut down, the longer it will take to get back to some sense of normalcy. All right, let's go ahead and shut it down now so that hopefully, during the spring, we might be able to have a football season or travel ball season or whatever the case may be. But the longer we wait, the longer it's going to take for us to actually have those seasons. All right, let's go ahead and do it now. Number 4, us as adults must be responsible for our children or our young athletes. We have to be the one to make the tough decision to pull the plug. It's not up to our children to say they don't want to play. We know they're going to play. If they have a choice, they're going to do it. Their children, they don't think logically, right? We know as a 10, 15, 25-year-old, we made some dumb decisions that we were not mature enough in order to make sound decisions. All right. So number 5, people will die. And I know it's frank, but it's the truth. People are going to die if we open up the floodgates and allow sports and life to just go on uninterrupted right now. As a sports administrator, are you okay with that happening on your watch? That's a decision that you have to make. And I think within the next couple of weeks, they're going to go ahead and shut down college football. They're going to shut down high school football. I know people's livelihoods are on the line. I understand. I know people have to make money. I understand. College football tends to make billions of dollars this year or lose billions of dollars this year due to not playing. I understand it. But how much money is a life worth to you? Is one person dying worth it to you? If so, that's your prerogative. I don't think that anyone should die just because we want to watch football. But that's your prerogative if you feel so. All right. So those are the 5 reasons why sports should be postponed due to COVID-19. Make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at The Life League. And we will be back. Let me know your comments. Go ahead and comment below how much you disagree with what I had to say. Like the video, all that good stuff. Give me some ideas of some of the things that you would want us to discuss. And we're going to be bringing some guests on here. We're going to be putting the highlights on here once sports do start back up. We'll put some highlights on here, all of that good stuff. So if you have some topics that you want us to hit on, make sure you put it in the comment section. We will see you guys next Thursday at 7:00 p.m. as we discuss the 5 reasons for those of y'all who are still playing. The 5 reasons why you are riding the bench. All right. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why. If you made the team and you're riding the bench and you ain't getting in the game, I'm going to tell you why. Next week, Thursday at 7:00. Appreciate y'all for watching tonight's broadcast. We'll see you all next week, Thursday at 7:00. All right. Take it easy.